smell what the XFL is cooking.
Dwayne Johnson made the announcement of him leading a group to buy the XFL, previously owned by his former boss Vince McMahon's group. Rock had a connection to the first installment of the XFL as we are looking back on its original version. In 2001, after turning his wrestling company into a multi-billion-dollar entertainment genre, Vince McMahon decided to give another dream a try, for what was maybe his second biggest interest, professional football. McMahon, who monopolized the top spot in the most-watched cable TV show charts for the last 3 years, and just went public with the WWF stock trading on the New York Stock Exchange since October 2000, got unprecedented hype and marketing for the new league, setting to debut on February 2, 2001. The biggest point of marketing was the promise of a more aggressive, old-school brand of football, as opposed to the softer version of the game in the NFL. In addition to that, the XFL implemented many of the sports entertainment elements from the WWF product. The announcers included Jesse Ventura, Jim Ross, and Jerry Lawler, locker room skits with cheerleaders, mid-match promos and storylines, etc.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the XFL!
After the huge buzz generated for the league, the debut on NBC on February 2 surpassed all expectations, drawing a huge 9.5 rating with 17 share. The most-watched show on television on the night for any genre. The first thing viewers saw in the debut broadcast of the XFL from Las Vegas, was now perhaps new owner Rock, cutting a promo hyping the league. It was clear that the hype led to a lot of the huge wrestling audience at the time, to sample the league, as NBC announced in a press release days later, that the young adult demo rating was the highest on a Saturday night in 11 years. The show also featured promos from the Steve Austin, Undertaker, and Vince McMahon, who gave the opening speech on the field. Rock attended the second week in LA, starting with a promo to open the game. Besides the massive television audience, the games in its opening weekend drew over 120,000 people to the stadiums.
And on behalf of the fans in the XFL, The Rock simply says, just bring it.
The league couldn't sustain the big success of the first week, viewership and crowds dropped dramatically and the league folded after its first season with tens of millions in losses. The second attempt was far less spectacular, as the buzz for the 2020 relaunch of the league wasn't even close to the original. The games drew average to decent numbers, falling steadily but staying in pretty much the same territory. Luck wasn't on their side, with a worldwide virus breaking out just weeks into the season, leading to McMahon to file for bankruptcy in April 2020. On August 3, Rock announced the plans for the purchase of the league, with a $15 million fee as the talked-about figure, possibly with a backing group. Rock himself was part of the high-profile 1991 Miami Hurricanes national championship team. And in an almost identical role to what he might really do in the future, he recently played a former football player turned agent, and eventually owner in HBO's TV series Ballers. What the plans for the league is still unknown, but things might come a full circle from 2001 with Rock opening its first ever broadcast, to somehow managing it in 2020.